Shanti. The third section of this, Bhagavan says, Taime Satyaha Kama Anuratapi Dhanasteshaha Satyanam Sadamanatamamit Abhidhanam Yo Hrisyeta Praiti Na Tamiha Darshana Yalavade. Bhagavan says, when the last section completed, it's about the capacity of fulfillment of the desires we discussed. The capacity to fulfill a desire is actually the power of the vision to find out where the object of desire is and what connection the object has with one's own self. The lack of this vision is in respect of the object of desire is the impediment which acts as an obstacle to the fulfillment of desire. Desires are really the various visions of the consciousness which act in different ways and different levels of experience. When due to the locking up of the consciousness in particular level of experience, it cannot visualize what is outside it or beyond it, then it becomes difficult for it to come in contact with the objects of the desires. We have extensively discussed about the desire. Desire is generated from the consciousness. It keeps on coming and going. We said that, see, and when one is in the conscious level, and when one knows about what is that desire, then the fulfillment is very easy. But the conscious, when it is in each different levels, that's why he calls it as locking up of consciousness. Like locking up of consciousness. When you are here, you are not aware of some other place, what is happening in some other place. When your mind is occupied in a particular experience, you are aware of only that experience. So the consciousness is locked. When the consciousness is locked, so this is in our life. The whole life, when you take the whole life of a human, the consciousness is locked only on particular karmas, you see. Like your consciousness is locked only in drinking a glass of water, at that time one is not aware of anything else and one is not able to attend anything else. Yes, even though there are objectives, there are desires. So when the conscious same way, in one life, suppose one's consciousness is locked up in the desires of the body and the mind, one is not in a position to understand the totality of the universe and the desire from the true consciousness. in totality, thereby unable to attend to that desire, so we call it as unable to attain that objective desire or objective results. Because the object for which the desire was created is not in the vision of the consciousness, because the consciousness is locked up somewhere. So it is not in its vision. If it is in its vision, then only it can be fulfilled. But the desire is there. The vision is not there. Where will I get it? How to get it? Why? Because the consciousness is locked in somewhere else. Same way in our life also. When the consciousness is locked up into the body-mind consciousness, the desire of the consciousness, the true consciousness of the Atma, which is the main purpose of attainment of the Parabrahman, is not known, even though in the subconscious mind there is a desire, but it is not known to the conscious mind, what we call it as a conscious mind, because that consciousness is trapped in the, or locked up in the vision of, or in the experience of, not vision, in the experience of body and mind consciousness. So when the consciousness is locked up in body-mind experience, whatever experience that consciousness will attain will be only relating to body and mind. In other words, all that desire what has to be fulfilled by the consciousness will be identified through the body and mind consciousness, through the body and mind consciousness. The desires, the nature of the desires may not be or are not, because the original consciousness, the desire is to obtain the Parabrahman. So the desire of the consciousness are not concerning to body and mind, it is something beyond that. But because of the locking up of the consciousness in the body-mind experience, the experiences what you want to attain beyond will be only processed through the body-mind experience and can never attain the Brahman. Simple thing. You are eating or you are drinking a glass of water, but the desire is to have a glass of milk, but your experience is only the water. How can you attain the fulfillment of the desire of milk having a glass of water? It's simple. That's all. Same thing is happening. That's what he says. Why? Why? Because your consciousness is locked into the water only. This is milk. Dronacharya, because of his excitement, in his excitement, when Ashwatthama was born, he had a lot of wealth. Dronacharya had a lot of wealth. Because of the excitement, because the excitement was when Ashwatthama was born, his cry was like Vishravana, which is the horse of the Indra, the most powerful, because the horse which has got magical strength, that it can sustain. His cry, Ashwatthama's cry was like that. Drona, being a knowledgeable person, knew that his inherent Shakti in him, so he was very, very excited. So he distributed all his wealth to the people and became a pauper. He had nothing to do, nothing else. And in that course, what happened? He didn't have even money to buy or artha to buy a glass of milk. Why I told about the milk, that's why I'm coming to that. Milk to feed his son. Then what happened? His wife used to mix, atta or something, that white atta, let us call it as flour, wheat flour. Looks like milk. And Ashwatthama used to drink, thinking it as milk. Now, for him, it is milk. For Ashwatthama, it is milk only. It's only the mother knows what she does. Same way. You think you are attaining certain things in your life. You think you are doing so many virtues or vicious things. Or you think your activities are for attainment of Brahman. Or you think it is all the activities that you have taken up is for attainment of spirituality and Brahman. Whereas actually what you are drinking is only that, wheat flour in the form of milk, and you have understood it as milk and taking it, and for you the taste of milk is wheat flour. That's all. This is what is happening. This is what is happening in our life. Because we have not tasted the milk. We have not tasted Brahman. In order to have Brahman, you should be in a position to taste milk. There in that case. Same way, in order to attain the Brahman, you will have to attain that system. So therefore, what is supposed to be done in order to attain the milk, as far as the Dronacharya is concerned? He has to attain the wealth in order to get milk. Same way, you have to attain the wealth. You have to attain the wealth of the Jnanam, Brahma Jnanam, in order to understand what is the basis of your desire. When the consciousness is in different levels and it has got different experiences. So for each conscious level, the experiences being different, the identification of fulfillment of desire is also different. In this level, one will think that I have attained the desires. In the other level, they think it has fulfilled the desires. Or in some level, they understand that these desires cannot be attained. That also is there. Yes. So what happened? There is a link, there is a missing link between the desire and the fulfillment. Is why mostly in the physical world we have kashta and dukkha. Because the desires of the consciousness that is being produced, one is unable to meet the requirement for the fulfillment from the externalities or the objective pleasure. And the fulfillment becomes impossible as far as that person is concerned, brings disappointment, kashta and dukkha in their consciousness because of non-attainment of the fulfillment of desire. In fact, there are no desires produced by the consciousness which cannot be fulfilled. You see, it is not somebody making you slog. No. Since it is Prakriti, it is Purusha, system, that system is there. That which is there in the Purusha and Prakriti is only brought out through the consciousness. Nothing from external or nothing untoward or nothing impossible is introduced into you. No. If there is a question, there is an answer. See, because the question comes only from the answer. So the desire comes from the consciousness. So when the desire looks into the consciousness, that is the result is already, attainment is already there. Fulfillment is already there. In fact, the desire is a part of consciousness. Desire is nothing, even though we call it as a desire, we may have a different picture of desire, that's kama. Kama is a result of the consciousness. To fulfill that kama, the consciousness is the only solution. You can find fulfillment only in the consciousness. The desire can be fulfilled only in the through the consciousness. The nature of desire has to be identified. In order to identify the nature of the desire, one should be conscious. When one is conscious, one is able to identify the nature of the desire, and when the desire's nature is identified and understood, automatically the fulfillment is also readily available. It need not be searched for. In the physical world, since the space and time, last class I explained you about the space and time. Since space and time is involved, the object, because it is we look for the fulfillment of the desires through the externalities and the objects. The object being away from you due to the factors of the space and time, it is far from you. According to the space and time, it is far from you. So your non-attainment of the object or non-attainment of the satisfaction through objective pleasure will result into conclusion of non-attainment of fulfillment of the desires created by the consciousness. Got it? We conclude it that way. It's not like that. Today if somebody says, Brahma Sakshatkar, oh my God, that's not possible. Immediately told that. It is not possible for me. Whereas he himself is a Brahman. He himself is a Brahman and he says, Brahma Sakshatkaram is not possible by me. Why? Because he looked upon the Brahman as an object and the object is much away from him because of the time and space of the consciousness and understanding. So he found it impossible. You got the desire and why the non-fulfillment of desire happens? Because it is physical in nature and that can be seen only by you physically and objectively and external through externalities. So the fulfillment of desires are really, and so he says that desires are really the visions of consciousness. It is, as I told you, it is true from consciousness. It It is simple to understand. It is, even though the words are difficult to, it's manifested in such a way, because he told the truth. But for an ordinary person, just to ask you one question, is the waves different from the sea? But they look different, isn't it? Same thing, that's all. Where is the waves coming from? It's from the ocean only. Is waves different from the ocean? No. Where does the wave come from? From the ocean. Because of different levels of consciousness, here in the question of ocean, because of different status. Here in the case of consciousness, because of different function of the consciousness, the outcome of the consciousness while it is functioning, the outcome of the wave while the ocean is functioning is created from the ocean, is created from the consciousness. I am just comparing both. They are not different. When one understands this, the waves are nothing but the ocean. One can stand away from the ocean, can watch the waves without fear. One who doesn't know that the waves are not the ocean, but who identifies the waves are different from the ocean, if he is standing by the shore, he will run back thinking that the waves will come and attack him. But what happens? To his amazement, it has come only up to a point and disappeared. Where has it disappeared? Into the ocean. Same way. When a desire is prompted by the consciousness due to a certain level of experience at that point of time, when it looks towards the consciousness, it gets the fulfillment and diluted in the consciousness itself is that fulfillment of desires, because it reaches the completeness. Whereas if that desire is experiencing in a different level of consciousness, what happens? It tries to attain fulfillment through that experience in whichever level the consciousness is and does never get fulfilled. Is why the desires are not fulfilled in the human, in the body and mind conscious level. You have one desire, from one desire it goes to another desire, another desire, another desire. The object becomes, see, you don't think there are so many desires. There is no plural as far as desire is concerned. There are no desires even though we use it. But it's wrong according to Vedanta. According to Vedanta, it is wrong. Why? Because it is only the object becomes different, but the desire, the characteristic of desire is the same. Yeah? That cloth, that material, that motorbike, that car, that house, that this, that cinema, that this. The desire, the object is different, but the desire is same. Desire is only one. There are no desires. This desire is trying to fulfill the requirement through all these externalities and never gets fulfilled. The mind gets satisfied magically because the mind is a fiction. Mind doesn't know whether it has achieved. Only thing it has intended to get the fulfillment from a particular object. And when an experience he receives from the object, he thinks it is fulfilled, is called the pleasure. The mind thinks it is fulfilled is called the pleasure. But then what happens? As the child looks back, the wave has diluted into the ocean. Arey, where is it gone? The pleasure has gone. fulfillment has not been achieved. So it again went back to find out a desire, fulfillment of desire from another object, repetition. See, number of times it has happened, but we never learnt. It keeps on teaching you from each object that it is a pleasure, it is not fulfillment. But the man kept on looking for fulfillment from the objects or from the externalities. Why? Because what is the reason? The reason is because he is conscious, his consciousness is locked up in a particular level of experience, and he is able to achieve only whatever is available in that level of experience. Even in human beings, a child experiences particular functions in a particular level of experience. In Kaumara, a different level of experience. Yavana, a different level of experience. Vardhakya, a different level of experience. Sannyasa, a different level of experience. The same man experiences different things, different conscious levels, and different things. That's why we have differences in experiencing or attainment of the desires. Gradually, when becomes old, when becomes Vardhakya, in Vanaprastha and in Sannyasa, the desires are diluted into bare minimum. Where have those desires, let me say desires, have gone? Actually, desires have not gone. Desire is still there, even if it is one. Desire is there, but the objects have vanished from where he is looking for fulfillment, for completeness. What is fulfillment of desire? What is fulfillment of desire? What is the status when I say fulfillment of desire? The experience of completeness. That's all. When Purnata is attained, fulfillment of desire is attained. That Purnata has never been attained by physical bodies and minds is why that incompleteness always remains. That's why there is no fulfillment of desire. Fulfillment means fulfillment. Nothing can be filled in that anymore. Fulfillment. Purnata. Attainment of Purnata. This can be achieved only in the highest conscious level when the desires are coming from there. And that desire is that, but what happens? The only thing, the Atmas in different level of consciousness, different level of experience being achieved, they look the fulfillment through those experiences, which is not possible. How can I get apple from a mango tree? How can I get apple from a mango tree? When you go to the mango tree, you should expect only mango, you will get mango. Experience, of level of experience and the consciousness. How can we get apple from mango tree? It's not possible. This is what Maharshi is trying to tell us. It's a great chapter and it's a great teaching and it's a great secret. It's a secret. No? It's a rahasya which you think you know but you do not know. The rahasya has to be relieved, rewind. You have to reveal it yourself. No? This rahasya is not understood. It's unlike any other rahasya. Rahasya is not understood. Rahasya is not explained. Rahasya is not experienced. Rahasya is revealed. Rahasya is revealed. The secret is only revealed. Secret is not told, no? Secret is revealed. The secrecy has to be revealed. The rahasya has to be revealed. So this is the Jivita rahasya or Brahma rahasya. This Brahmajnana rahasyam has to be experienced when not understood. If it is experienced, then only your fulfillment can take place is why the desires are so locking up in the level of consciousness. And you see your life, our life, we can immediately see that. Our fulfillment of desire is only through our experience. The moment our experiences changes, our level of identity changes. Our level of looking for the fulfillment of desire changes. When he was a small child, he looked for experiences through playing with the toys. Then when he Kaumara, he wanted to experience the same thing, the same pleasure, same fulfillment through something else. And in the Yavana, through something else. And in the Vardhakya, in something else. And Sannyasa, something else. But he is trying to do same, wanting to attain the fulfillment from the toys to the meditation. No, is it not? He wants a pleasure. He wants a fulfillment. He is fed up of one toy. Why is he fed up of one toy? If it is giving him pleasure and happiness, why is he fed up of one toy, even as a child? Because he is not finding pleasure from there. So he throws it, he wants another toy. He wants all the toys that is seen by him in a shop. He thinks, let me try in every toy. Because his level of consciousness is locked up in that level of experience of the child, and the child's approach is only experimental experiences are only through the toys only he can do. He cannot fly a plane. He cannot meditate. He cannot learn Upanishad at that age. So, whichever level of experience consciousness is locked up, he finds to identify the fulfillment of desire through his own eligibility, availability of experience that is there with him. Getting it? This is what human being is. Where are you? You are playing with the toys only now. Yes. Trying to find out, yes, fulfillment from that. How can we get fulfillment from toys, from food, from material, from people, from forest, from climate? From where will you get fulfillment? None of these things can give you fulfillment. Is why Bhagavan Shankaracharya said, Jagat Mithya. It's not Jagat is not there. The Jagat that you are classifying is Mithya. Is that what he meant? The Jagat, what you are addressing, is Mithya. Jagat is there. Or, in other words, the Mithya that is called Jagat. It's a myth only. It's only your illusions, imagination, because your level of consciousness seems trapped up into that. Suppose a sannyasi for a maharishi, for a tapasvi, for Bhagavan, the whole universe is one experience of consciousness. Now, there are no different levels and different experiences. Finished. One has to attain that. This is where we are going to. You got from where desire comes? How the desire are there? There are no desires. The desire is only for fulfillment, for completeness. And completeness can come when? When? When can you come to... That also has to be told, no? Nobody knows what is completeness. When can you attain the completeness? When the incompleteness vanishes. Play of words. It's only play of words. When incompleteness vanishes, then the play of completeness. Apurnata has to go off and Purnata has to come. The Apurnata, in order to go, the different levels of experiences have to be vanished from us. That means locking up of consciousness in different levels have to be changed. The locking up of consciousness has to be stopped. It has to be kept open. Consciousness is same. Even the intelligence for you to eat your food is equivalent to meditation in the Brahmaloka. If you are conscious of Brahmajnanam, the activity done by X with a physical level of pleasure is also eating the same activity, eating. The one who has identified the Brahmajnanam and is living in the Brahmaloka also eating the same activity or same eating, even though for an onlooker they both are eating is the activity, he experiences the taste of food, he experiences the taste of Brahman. Both are experiencing different. One is trying to get the fulfillment through food. One who is identifying fulfillment in food. One thinks the food is different from him and will give him the pleasure and happiness and fulfillment. The other things, the food has come from me and it is going into me. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva. Praninam Deham Ashritam. Because I am a prani. My ashraya was Deham Ashritam. I am dependent on the body. So when Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva is the Brahmajnanam, Praninam Deham Ashritam is that for the prani who is there in the Jivatma. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritam Prana Apana Samayuktaha. In order to make the Apana and the Prana Samana, Samayuktaha, in order to make it one, now it is two different. Samayukta, Pachamyanam, trying to digest the food in order to make the prana and the apana one. You see? Pachamyanam chaturvidham. That means bhavavidham. Different ways trying to fulfill it. See? What for? To make the prana and apana into one. For? So, who is making all these things? Who is experiencing all these things? Who is trying to convert all these things? Who is thinking like that? Who is doing like this? Is all Aham Vaishwanaro. The Agni in me is that what is trying to do that. That's all. If I know the Vaishwanara in me, I don't have to do this prana apana samayukta pacham mennam chaturvidham. See how relative everything is. So what happened? Here this person is identifying the objective experience through the experiences of the body, mind, consciousness. So he says, Pachamyanam aham pachami. Pachami annam. Pachami means aham pachami. The language has changed. Aham pachami. That means I am digesting. For what? For making my prana and apana one. And he is identifying that they are. Whereas in the initial sentence he said, Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva, I am the Agni. Then he says, I am digesting. Who? I, the Agni. I, being the Agni, I am digesting. So who am I? I am that Agni. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva. Bhutva means again, it happened to be the Agni. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva. Praninam Deham Ashritam. Since the pranis are Deham Ashritam, I am burning, being the fire, being the Agni, I am burning that, I am digesting it, and the purpose of digesting is only to make the apana into to the prana, and the prana, once you become the prana, what happens? It doesn't remain in the body. Out. So, for what? So even eating is for what? Brahma Sakshatkar. For that man who understands this, for a sannyasi who understands this is for Brahma Sakshatkara. So that's why I said, when he is eating the Brahma Sakshatkara. He identifies the Brahma Sakshatkara. The other one is eating for thinking that the food will make me something. Don't know what. He doesn't even know what will it, but thinking that something will happen, so let me eat. That's why eating. How beautiful they have explained it in one small shloka. Externally, so everything is connected to this only. Everything is connected here, so externality. It's a wonderful chapter. It has to be there always in us, that so when this identification happens, the desire becomes the outlet of, the infringe of the consciousness, and that gets melted and diluted into consciousness, because that is the only thing. Where will get it? Where will the desire get the jnanam in order to get the fulfillment? From the consciousness. The level of experience, he called it as level of experience in which consciousness you are. When you are in the consciousness of body-mind consciousness, you will look for experiences of body-mind, and then you will try to analyze everything through body-mind is what happening in the human. When he goes into the sannyasa, brahmacharya, next chapter is brahmacharyatvam. Brahmacharya level, then his perception is different. He is trying to attain through brahmacharyatva. This one, that is also not ready, that's also not complete. Then he goes to the dhyanam. That also is not complete fulfillment. Then he goes to, see, like this he keeps on going till the time there are no more fields of experiences different from the consciousness. I'm trying to establish the fact into the mind of us, all of us. When you go into the sunlight, if one is not ready for accepting the sunlight, the harshness of the heat of the sunlight, one gets hot, feels hot. So he goes under the tree. Under the tree also he gets sunlight. We call it as a shade, but there is sunlight. But that sunlight is comfortable to him. That also is uncomfortable after some time, after experiencing. So he comes inside the house. Inside the house also there is sunlight. Okay, yeah, that's comfortable. So, now what happens? He is looking for experiences through different conscious levels, is it not? What is he looking for? The sunlight. Right? The truth is what? The sunlight, attainment of the sunlight. Why are you looking in different levels of consciousness? Inside the house, under the tree, under the shade, in the open. Why in different levels? Because different levels of locking up of consciousness in different levels of experiences. Why? Because your consciousness is locked up into the comfort and discomfort of whom? Of your physical body. Where are you getting the heat? Only absolute external part of your body, that is the skin. That's all. Not in your brain, not into your eyes, not in the heart, not in the liver. Where do you get the heat? Heat is only on the skin. So your conscious level of experience is only where it is stuck up, where it is locked? The skin. So your experience is based on the skin. Am I clear? Alright? You understood what I am trying to do? This is how our life is. So now you should know where your consciousness should be locked or your consciousness should be opened. No locking up of consciousness. No experience should lock. Experience should not lock up your consciousness. Your consciousness should create the experience. When you are dependent on experiences, you will try to attain fulfillment through experiences only. When you do not get dependent on experiences, your consciousness is absolutely free from that experience or from those experiences. So he says the experience of the Sharira and Mana should be taken away so that your consciousness is free to move away from locked up situation of the experience in the body, mind, consciousness. When you are stuck with this, you will never be able to experience anything else other than your body and mind consciousness. Wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever may be your activities, everything will be related to your body and mind. Today that's what is happening, is it not? In everybody's life, in the human being's life, every experience is based on the body-mind experiences. From there, I derive comfort, discomfort, sukha, dukkha, kashta, dukkha, jnana, ajnana, pleasure, pain. Everything is identified by whom? By body only or by mind. Let me say body means mind again. So your experience is there, finished. You are concluding all the decisions. You think this is the Brahman. In Advaita Siddhanta, when we come, none of these things are there. Everything is an experience, that's all. One doesn't feel that experience. One doesn't look for a result from the experience. When you are looking for a result from the experience only, we call it as feeling the experience. What is sadness? What is happiness? There's no material, no? It's a feeling of your status, your feeling. Yeah. It's a feeling. Pain, feeling. Kashta, feeling. Dukkha, feeling. That's all. What is a feeling? Who feels it? The mind feels it. Based on what experience? Based on the body's experience or mind's experience. If the body consciousness is not there, is there a pain and pleasure? Is there a happiness and unhappiness? Body will be there. Body consciousness we are talking about. That means it is not that body should not be there. Body will be there. If his consciousness is not trapped into the body. Now the consciousness is trapped only in the body. So the pleasure and pain that for the body is the pleasure and pain for him. Please understand it carefully. Now the pleasure and pain, what happens, is the pleasure and pain of him, and he suffers and enjoys in that. Whereas when the consciousness is trapped, not trapped in the body, even though the body is there, please try to understand the other side of it. When it is not trapped, when it is not locked up, and the consciousness is there, body is also there. Everything is there. Only thing, the consciousness is not trapped into the body or locked into the body. In such a case, what happens? The consciousness, again there is a pain and pleasure when it happens. When the pain and pleasure happens, the consciousness having a wider spectrum of experience of the universe and the Brahmaloka, that pain and pleasure is to that body. The consciousness identifies that pain and pleasure is for that body. Let me just analyzing it. Again, is the body. But when it is trapped in the body, the pain and pleasure is mine. Pain and pleasure is mine. So you undergo the suffering. When the consciousness says that the pain and pleasure is for the body undergoes that, he doesn't undergo. I do not undergo the pains and pleasures of it, the body undergoes. How many pains and pleasures are happening in the body every day? While walking, it pains. Every day the skin goes away from the body. Internal organs changes once in 3 weeks or 3 months time. The whole lining of the stomach changes in 3 months, once in 3 months time. Do we feel? It automatically happens. Do we feel pain and pleasure? No. Where do you feel pain and pleasure? Only when you are conscious of it. When your consciousness is trapped into it. When we are seeing a movie, nothing, no problem at all. Everything is fine. When we are enjoying something, there is nothing. Horse race, nothing. Boxing, some people people have different enjoyments, entertainments. So when they are entertained through those entertainment, all other experiences are nothing for them, even though there is hunger, there is thirst. None of What does he want?
Identity, some proof.
Nothing can be done now, only tomorrow. Ask him. So, what happened? When due to the locking up of consciousness has happened, then it becomes difficult for it to come in contact with the objects of its desires. So your identity of desire, fulfillment of desire is only one. Now we should identify what is that desire, is that to be complete. We all have come here in order to become complete. Because there is incompleteness, we have come here to complete ourselves. Is that we should understand in this identity of desire and externality and experiencing that. Now in section 3, the shloka which says space within the heart is what I told. I told you. Sayadi Pitrloka Kamo Bhavati. Oh, no, sorry. This is second chapter. Taime Satya Kamaha. Taime Satya Kamaha. Antabheda Tesham Satyanam Satam Anutam avidanam yo yasirpudi natam idam dharmaya labhate. The words Satya and Rita, that is Satyam and Asatyam. And Rita is Asatyam. Satyam and Asatyam literally mean truth and untruth. What is that truth and untruth here? Truth is the capacity to visualize things as they are in themselves. Truth is the capacity to visualize things as they are in themselves. And untruth is that which obstructs this vision. Untruth is that which obstructs this vision. Things as they are in themselves are not vitally disconnected from one another. There is really no distance between one object to another object. If distance does not exist, the difficulty in contacting objects should not arise. Absolutely true. But the distance does exist for a particular type of consciousness which has limited itself and which therefore thinks that it is different from that which the whole universe is capable of in its completeness. Right? The capacity to visualize things as they are in themselves. This is what the whole universe, the whole world is of. None of them are seeing, or most of them are not seeing the truth. They are only obstructing the truth. That is why it is untruth. Untruth is not, as I told you earlier also sometime in our class, there is no opposite to the truth. Even though we say truth, lie, we call it as opposite. It's not opposite. They are not opposite. There is no opposite for truth. That's why he says untruth. Truth, untruth. Untruth is nothing but that which obstructs the vision of the truth is called untruth. Not seeing the truth is called untruth. That's called obstructing the vision of the truth. Not seeing the truth is untruth. As I told you about the jnanam. You remember? Jnanam. What is jnanam? That what you do not understand, that one who doesn't understand the jnanam is jnanam. Obstructed. Ajnanam is not, ajnanam means, ajnanam, sorry, ajnanam. Jnanam and ajnanam. Ajnanam is not mudhada, it's not idiotic. Jnani, ajnani, jnanam. The one who doesn't identify the jnanam is ajnana, ajnani. The one who doesn't identify the truth is untruth, so anrita. That's why he call it as anrita. That obstructs the seeing of the truth. Are we seeing the truth? Well, it's a big chapter again. Starting from the beginning of Upanishad. He says you are seeing the mud, you are seeing the buildings, you are seeing so many things, you are seeing that, this, that. Everything is mud. You are seeing so many jewelries, they are all gold. You are seeing so many things, so many doors, windows, ship. They are all wood. the truth. No? That means seeing the truth. The vision that is, suppose I identify that as a door, that is a ship, and behave like that is called untruth. The obstructing the vision of the truth is called untruth. You're not seeing the identification of truth. That's a shape and form of the wood. Has to be known. That's all. It doesn't mean there should not be a door, there should not be a ship, there should not be something else. Let there be anything. But you must know what it is. There is human being. You should know what is that. But what happens? You identify human being as X, Y, Z based on your own perception of X, Y, Z characteristics. There are various factors how you identify a person. Are you seeing the truth? No. When you listen to the jnanam, are you identifying the truth in that jnanam? No. You listen to that for particular purpose, particular cause. Various reasons are there. So what happens? Things as they are in themselves are not vitally disconnected from one another. The objects are not, what we call it as objects, it's only object again. No, gradually when you reduce it, everything is an object. The distance, when the distance and the space and time is reduced, the distance reduces. When the distance is reduced, it becomes one cluster of things, is it not? A seed, from a seed, a huge banyan tree is grown. Sukshma and Sthula, we said. In Sthulata, it is the expansion of the Sukshmata. Is it a complete expansion of the Sukshmata? Is it complete expansion of the Sukshmata? No. If that was the case, why this tree and this tree from the same quality of seed are looking different? Why one is fat and one is thin? Why one is tall, one is not? One gives fruit, one doesn't give fruit. It's not. So what happens? Certain characteristics depending upon the requirement. That requirement is a wide spectrum of the world. Depending upon the requirement of the humanity, this kala, samaya kala, according to creation. Depending upon that, from that seed, a particular tree comes. Certain amount of characteristics have been exposed in the Sthulata. So you can see the stem, you can see the branches, you can see the sub-branches, you can see the leaves, flowers and the fruits and the buds and whatnot. You know, there are so many things can be seen. All these things are there inside the seed, has to be, is the jnanam. Is the jnanam, because it all comes from that only. It has come from there only. So that means it has to be there. If it is not there, how it will come? It cannot come. Well, certain aids are provided for its growth, that's all. This is jnanam, that Sukshmata. In Sukshmata, if I can understand that jnanam, in Sthulata, the amazement of looking at it will not be there. What is the truth? The truth is the seed. The untruth is the sthula bhava of the seed. The vision is obstructed. That what contains in the seed. We think that what is available, even if you know it, and somebody has told you also, you think this is what is contained in the seed, that what you see physically. Is that all? Is that all? No, there is something more. When the identification is cleared through the consciousness, what happens? The distance becomes less. When the distance becomes less, your consciousness becomes clear in that field of experience in the seed itself. So by looking at the seed itself, you can experience the tree. You should be able to experience the tree. That is how Ishvara could experience the universe without being projected. It has got projected is a different thing. Without that, yes. Like that, so many things. So that's why. They said samhara is dharmam. Samhara is dharmam. If samhara is not there, dharmam cannot be maintained. In samhara, removal of ajnanam is also samhara. If the ajnanam is not removed, jnanam will not come. Ajnanata is not removed, jnanata will not come. No? The ignorance is not removed, knowledge cannot be created, knowledge cannot come. So samhara of the ignorance is absolutely necessary. Removal of ignorance, that means samhara is dharma. To samhara is dharma. In us, ajnanam should be removed is dharma. Bhagavan Shiv. So in order to remove the ajnanam, there has to be Shakti. Bhagavan Shiv's we called as Shiva and Shakti. What is Shiva and Shakti is all one only, no? No difference. In Shiva, in the consciousness, there has to be Shakti in order to do the samhara of the ajnanam in it. Is called dharmam. Since it is known as dharmam, the Shakti is associated with the consciousness. Shakti is associated with the consciousness can only remove the ajnanam, is called that particular portion of the Shakti, that strength to, that means application part of it is known as Saha Dharmam. What is Dharmam? Dharmam Saha Dharmam. So the word Saha Dharmini has come from Saha Dharmam. That means destruction or samhara of the ajnana, samhara of anything. People call it samhara means anything that is not required has to be removed so that the what is required can be remaining there. What is required? Required is called fulfillment. The fulfillment or completeness or the purnata has to be there. In order to have the purnata, as I told you earlier, what should be done in order to have purnata? The apurnata has to be removed. How to feel complete? The incompleteness has to be removed. It's called samhara shakti. This is called obstruction of the vision of satya. But for this, the consciousness has to be there. This is why we do the practice of learning of the Upanishads and upasana, nitidhyasana, samarpana and dhyanam, etc. are done. More than dhyanam is only an initial part of it. Upasana comes much later of that. Upasana, nitidhyasana. So, If that, then ultimately why did I come from? So ultimately what happens, the distance when it is reduced, asatya is totally gone, then satya remains. Initially it was disciple and the guru. When the jnanam is achieved by the disciple, it becomes the guru. One guru, disciple, and I'm just telling an example, disciple and guru. Now when it has become the guru, what it found? The guru and the disciple has merged into the jnanam. And the jnanam has merged into the Atman. Atman has merged into the Parabrahman. What happened? The distance has reduced. When the distance has reduced, the Sthula Bhava is totally gone. We came into the Sukshma Bhava of Brahman. The tree became the seed. So Bhagavan said, but the distance does exist for whom? For the particular type of for the particular type of consciousness which has limited itself and which therefore thinks that it is different from that which is the whole universe. I told you some time back, when we have why we have dukkha and kashta? Because our activities and our thought, when it is not relating to the existing dharma of the prakriti and purusha, there is a friction, there is a contradiction. That contradiction creates dukkha and kashta, because it is not relating to that. It is not the same as that. Because if it is not that same material, it cannot merge together. Is why the kashta and dukkha. This is the reason why those who are not in this physical world, now this is another factor. Well, before I tell about these worlds, please remember at the back of your mind, there are no different worlds. Everything is one. But this is necessary to be explained. Swamiji also says the same thing. I have only told it beforehand, so that let your the horses of imagination not travel too far, hold it back before it is too far and unable to come back. What did I say? Yeah. This is the reason why those who are not in this physical world cannot be seen by the people living in this physical world, and why the former cannot be contacted by the latter. People who have died, people who have not born, we are unable to see them. What he means by is because that the consciousness has got a limitation as far as we are concerned. Our consciousness is locked up in this experience of physical body and mind, so it is unable to find out what is beyond mind and body. When the consciousness is not locked up into the mind and body consciousness, it will be beyond body, mind and consciousness, and in that case you can see everything, all the worlds. The world is nothing but the space of experience. The consciousness experiences. That's all. That's the world. As I told you about the as the Balya, Kaumara, Yavana, and all that. So we cannot see once you are out of this body and mind consciousness, you can see how many million people have died, how many millions are supposed to be born. Everything can be seen. There is no different world when they are in different world. That means different world means worlds of experiences. This is your world of experience, that is the another world of experience. That's all. There is no different worlds, but depending upon our experiences, we have divided them into 7 parts. That's why we call it as 7 worlds. Because 7 worlds are 7 layers of vibrations, 7 layers of experiences. If these 7 layers of experiences can be identified, understood, I am on the top of the world. On the top of the world. When it is on the top of the world, all worlds can be seen. That's why top of the world. Not because they by height. 120th story building, okay, top of the world. Tallest building, I am on top of the. I can see everything. You can see nothing. Bhagavan says, those former cannot be seen, the latter cannot experience them. And this is really so where am I? Between the world of experience and other world of experience. There is no communicating medium between the world of experience and the other world of experience. There is no communicating medium. There's really speaking no such thing as world. Yeah, that's right. I told you that. As this world and the other world, there are not many worlds. There is only one vast continuum of experience. The distinction of this world from the next world are many other worlds arises on account of the varying densities of consciousness which appear to cause different levels of experience. He explains it as density of consciousness. When the consciousness is dense with knowledge, let me put it that way. When the consciousness is dense with the jnanam, then the differences of worlds of experiences will not exist. Because they are dense with ajnanam. Depending upon the level of the jnanam in the consciousness, the level of experience varies. That's how the variation takes place, and in this variation, naturally, there cannot be any communicating medium there. It's not possible, because there is no communicating medium between ajnanam and jnanam. When there is an obstacle, there cannot be ajnanam there. An obstacle has to be removed, then the ajnanam doesn't remain. So, then the world itself is gone. There's no question of communication. Anyway, the communication between two different worlds stands because when there are two different worlds, there cannot be a communicating medium. When I become conscious of the other consciousness, the level of experience changes, so the world itself is gone, so the question of communicating between that world and this world doesn't come at all. So in any case, communication between two worlds are, you understood what I'm saying, is negated. So we cannot actually establish a conscious communication between dream and waking state. There are two different conscious levels. One is a dream state, another is a waking state. Both are equally appearing to be true. Both are equally impressive. Both are appearing to be absolutely right as far as in their own worlds are concerned. But when you are in the dream state or in the sushupta avastha or the swapna avastha, the communicating medium with the jagrata avastha or the waking state is not at all there. Whatever you try, or you don't try at all. Do you try? When you are in dream, do you try to be conscious of the waking state? It doesn't happen. Why? Because you have locked the consciousness in the dream world. And it appears to be fine, correct, right? And experiencing that, yes. Sometimes we don't want to end the dream. No? We by forcefully continue the dream. We believe it is right, you see. So you keep on traveling in it. You keep on activities in that. But the moment you come to the Jagrata Avastha or the waking state, there is no communication between the dream state and the waking state. Can you communicate with the dream state? It's not possible. If one state is gone and identified when in the waking state, when I identify that was only a dream state, so what happens? That state of experience is vanished. So the necessity of communicating is not there, and the possibility of communicating anyway is not there. So that world itself has vanished. When you became waking state, the dream world has vanished. It is no more. Only for a reference you can say, I dreamt yesterday. Do you say that I had a bitter experience while sleeping yesterday? We don't say that. We say, I dreamt, that's all. And I also accept it. Dreaming is not. In the waking state, I don't accept it. And in the dream state, I am not aware of it at all. Two different worlds, you see. How many different worlds are we living in our life? Like this. Misunderstanding, misconception, right understanding, wrong understanding, this understanding, that understanding, this. How many levels of worlds we are experiencing while we are living? Each and every time we lock that consciousness and we believe that experience is right, that I am undergoing. We forget to come out of it. This also is a dream state. What you are living actually is not a waking state. It is not Jagrata Avastha. Even though we call it as Jagrata Avastha, it is also a dream. Ashtavakra said to Raja Janak, Hey Janak, hey Raja, that was also a dream. This is also a dream. He says, that's all. Two different levels. So, for instance, notwithstanding the fact that there is no real gulf, physically speaking, between waking and dream experience, there is absolutely no distinction. If you seriously investigate into the structure of the dream as well as of waking, they appear to be so different. Nor can one who is dreaming have entry into waking world. It is a distinction of the capacities of certain levels of consciousness, which is the reason behind distinctions made between the two different worlds, the dream and the waking worlds. Worlds are fields of experiences. Worlds are fields of experiences. When you are attending Upanishad, you feel everything is true, everything is right. The moment you go out of this experience and go there, I don't think everything can be right. How can it be? Same thing changes. No? Different worlds of experiences. Why we call it as different worlds? They are all different fields of experiences. Worlds means fields of experiences. Whichever you experience, you think that is your world. The world is like this. World is like this. World is like this. This is world. Corresponding to the correlative object world in which one finds oneself, there is a possibility or impossibility of knowing what is beyond the ken of physical senses. People who are dead are not really dead. They are in some other level of experience. They are in a different realm, in a different density of consciousness. Those in that particular density cannot contact those in another density. Since there is a problem of communication from the physical world to astral world, we cannot contact each other, communicate each other, neither can we experience each other, being in different levels of experiences. But when a person grows in his conscious level, his world of experience changes. He is able to communicate with them, he is able to see them, he is able to see everything. It is possible. I told you number of times, I think, not once, Maharishis predict even the great noble soul's life, birth, like Bhagwan's birth, even in a different yuga, it will take place. He says that. Now we wonder how it is possible. For him, they are not different worlds of experience. For him, they are all the same world of experience. In the Dwapara Yuga, he knows what will happen and what is happening in the Treta Yuga. He is seeing everything. Something like that, just for an example. So, these are the different worlds. That's how the locking up of consciousness in the world of experience. This unlocking should be learned. That's why we say don't get stuck up with your experiences. Don't think it is true. Nothing, now we know, nothing is true. That what you are feeling, what you are seeing, what you are experiencing, they are all because that you have locked up your consciousness in a particular experience, you think they are true. That's not the truth, because the desires are not getting fulfilled. Fulfillment, Purnata, is the truth. So we'll stop here. We'll start with page 215, the next class. I think it's a little heavy, so let it be like that. Please understand this. I think you must contemplate on these classes. They are, I know, for many people it is difficult now in this stage of, that's why it is not possible to impose upon or insist on to transform. Transformation is not done by, by a whip. It is not possible. That's why the Upanishads and the great noblemen said there has to be self-knowledge, self-revelation. There has to be a basis of knowledge should be there in order to understand. Where this knowledge comes, knowledge will come from number of janmas, you see. How can a new person who is born now in the human body and mind, the soul which has taken birth in a new human body and mind experience, how will he know how a human will behave? He cannot understand. He has undergone the experience of the body of animal, body of trees and plants, body of insects. He knows only that experience. Now, a number of times he experiences in the human body, he knows what is the human body behaves. So, the jnanam also comes out of experiences from the previous janmas, we call it. Even though they are all, as he said, they are all in different form, different level, with different experiences. I was in an animal body, was my experience in the animal body. I am not an animal. My experience was in the animal body, so I was identified as the animal. My consciousness, had it been trapped only in that experience, I would never have come out of it and become a human. Now, being a human, how can you become something else? Also because the same way as your entrapment of consciousness in the animal body and this plant body or the insect body, you have come out, the same way you will have to come out of this entrapment of the human physical body and come to a different level of consciousness where you identify the Brahmaloka. That's all. We had been doing it, we have been practicing it. Now, in the human body and mind, we have got a faculty of brain and intelligence. We have got a facility for understanding it, improvising it, so that faster we can move towards the completeness, faster we can move towards the Brahmaloka, faster we can become the Devata ourselves, is based on the requirement. So this identification of studies have to be made, even though the many things comes with the number of janmas experience, many experiences, many janmas one has taken, so one knows it. That is one way. Second way is that in one janma itself, try to understand it. If there's nobody restricts you by understanding in one janma itself, who stopped you? So when you have facilities of it, when you have a guru, when you have jnana, when you have this consciousness available, the entrapment can be slowly, or the experiencing of that level of experience, even though you were born in a different circumstance and situation to experience certain level of experience, I can always change that world of experience by way of learning these things towards the learning the truth of the identification of the Brahmaloka, and can travel towards it much faster with that experience of consciousness by unlocking them from different locked, entrapped experiences. Clear? Om Shanti.